Homicides in West Palm Beach have affected my community. It really does a lot to spread the hopelessness that's already pervasive there. We know that the root cause of the homicide is concentrated disadvantage. We live in a city filled with wealth, and our community is just in such a desperate situation. And what makes it worse is being able to walk just outside your community and see such wealth. And I think that kind of drives people into feeling that they don't have the options or the opportunity that we all know is there, but it's hard for them to see through at times. So I think the homicides just do more to depress people in the situations that they've inherited.
It goes way back, like to like generations before this, like present day, and it's just like a code not we, but like as a community just keeps up. You don't say nothing, they don't get nothing. And if you say something, you gonna get got. So that's kind of like what everybody's living off of right now. And most times people just stay in the house because they don't want to be involved. They don't want to be part of the he say she say. Then it becomes another cycle. Let's say you have to go on trial for a stand. You might be the next target. Nowadays people just want to stay in their lane and don't want to be involved in anything. That's why when people cry for help, they just stay in the house and act like they don't hear anything. Say they don't be involved in it. Police come ask them, I ain't see nothing. I ain't, I'm in it and I ain't in it. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's pretty much why. Honestly, I feel like the cops have to reach their hand out first, cause we're not gonna do it. If we do it, we're gonna look soft. We're gonna look like a dry. We just gonna look like a somebody perspective is gonna hinder our feeling. Or I'm not saying like I hate cops. I like cops. But because somebody that's going through something or with a case or had bad experience with cops gonna look like I'm the bad guy or I'm on this side. In other words, I'm an op. So I feel like the cops gotta just come, hey, like, just come at them correct, have a regular conversation. It wouldn't hurt to just do a little pizza drive, the cops come out with no free pizza, walk around giving it out, just having a conversation. I feel like that would really start breaking the chain right there.
One thing that I believe that we can do is be more involved as a whole, as a village. The cops are going to do their job once something happens, and they do their best to protect ourselves. But when the cops are not watching, it's the community's responsibility. That's our community. So everyone that's living in the community, whether they're old, young, the street corner guys, everybody that's involved needs to play their part and to put an end to gun violence. We as an organization, we're mobilizing our young men as well as our team to go out into the streets to inform the young men about being safe in their communities. We're trying to reach those young men who are most likely to perpetrate or be victims of gun violence, to bring them in and reverse those generational cycles that they believe in, just so that they can give them something to live for. Because our whole mission is to keep the youth free and alive through 25. I mean, not free from just the incarceration or alive from the cemeteries, but free within their own community to be able to live and thrive and be the best that they can be. And we just want to be able to provide that to them by doing community service, by doing community engagement, having programs for them, giving them leadership development, and by us continuing to walk that path and giving these young men something to live for. I believe that we give hope, and that's desperately what's needed in everybody's life, hope.
It's not a cool look. Most people would be like, oh, I want to, like, back then, it was like, if you get shot, people would look up to you like, oh, he cool, he this and that. But it's not cool. But me seeing it, or even just hearing it, at first I'd be scared. Now it's just normal to us. Like, it's normal. Like, somebody that's not from the hood or been around it, they'll hear a firecracker, they'll get scared things a gunshot. We wouldn't move. If it happened to be gunshot, we wouldn't move either until if we just all sitting down and then gunshots start blazing, we wouldn't move until we see a shot come near us. Then we'll react. But I mean, all I could really say is that back then, yeah, I would be scared. Now it's just a normal thing to me.
Hearing Javen talk reminded me of something that I think is important for people to realize, that he was just a normal kid that was born into this community, grew up into this community, and now at 16 years old, he's totally desensitized to gun violence. Now here's a desensitized young man that's on the right side of things and trying to bring hope to his community. But so many young people don't see this option to kind of be the resistance and stand up for something that's right. But it doesn't matter if you're on the right side of things or the wrong side of things. Violence has just become too normal in these communities. And I often see people on the outside can look with shock that these murders are happening and no one's reporting and no one's reporting it to law enforcement and things like that. But people are just broken by it. They're not seeing it the way the outside world is seeing it. So I believe until people begin to empathize and put themselves into the shoes of people who are living in the communities that have been defined by violence for so long, we'll never really understand what it'll take to bring about meaningful solutions. When the case goes unsolved anytime, it just erodes further trust in law enforcement. And you see the things like we see happening all around the country where instances of police brutality are being magnified to a level like never before. The trust is at an all-time low. So when people do have something that's a legitimate concern that they could take to law enforcement, they won't because the trust isn't there. So I think the biggest priority for law enforcement at all right now is to rebuild the trust with communities of color. And I think I appreciate the work that we do because I do consider it my job to take what's going on in communities like mine and make a bridge for people on the outside that want to understand and want to be involved in creating change. I want them to have that opportunity. And I think it's people like us on the inside who've lived through it, who've survived it, and that are intentional about going back and repairing it. Like I say all the time, real change happens when the people who need it lead it. And I think we're doing a good job in enlisting future leaders who will continue this work.